All right, thank you very much for coming today. My name is Nathan Hochman. I'm the District Attorney of Los Angeles County. You're going to hear from me first today, then you'll hear from Los Angeles Police Department Chief Jim McDonnell. Then you'll hear from Los Angeles Fire Department Interim Chief Ronnie Villanueva. Standing with myself and the others here at the podium, among the others here are from the District Attorney's Office, we have Director John McKinney, Head Deputy Craig Hum, Assistant Head Deputy Habib Balian, the Deputy District Attorney who will be in charge of this case, Brian Kang. From the Fire Department, we have Chief of Staff Kyrie Brown. From the Los Angeles Police Department, we have Commander Lillian Carranza, Captain Ben Fernandez, Detective Jose Hidalgo, and Supervising Detective Jesse Aldulo. We're here today because charges have been filed against Fernando Ramirez, 29 years old, from San Clemente, California. Now, as I discuss these charges, please bear this in mind. Charges are not evidence. Evidence is something that we will be presenting in a court of law. If the case were to go to trial, those evidence would be presented to a jury to make a finding beyond a reasonable doubt that this particular defendant is guilty of the crimes with which he is charged. So nothing you hear myself or anyone say today is actually evidence in a court of law. Every individual, every defendant, including Mr. Ramirez, is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, the charges that have been filed against Mr. Ramirez are 37 counts of attempted murder and 37 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, the deadly weapon being the car. These counts correspond to each of the 37 victims that suffered injuries as a result of Mr. Ramirez's actions at about 2 a.m. on July 19th, this past weekend, where he is accused of intentionally driving his car onto the sidewalk near the Vermont Hollywood, a popular venue in the 1000 block of North Vermont Avenue, where he allegedly, as the complaint details, struck a crowd of people, injuring these 37 people, including 8 of these people who we've alleged have suffered great bodily injury. These great bodily injuries include serious fractures, lacerations, and broken bones. Currently, Mr. Ramirez is being held without bail. He is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow in Department 30 across the street at the Claret Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center. With respect to these particular crimes, these crimes hold the maximum sentence of life. So he is being accused, and if convicted of each of these crimes, he would be sentenced on multiple sentences of life imprisonment. Now, we understand that this brazen act has shaken the community. And but for the good grace of God, this could have been a mass casualty incident. Mr. Ramirez, as alleged, and we will prove in a court of law, when he drove that car onto that sidewalk, he aimed it at a whole sea of pedestrians that were in front of him on the sidewalk at 2 a.m. Many of them were at the taco truck, or they were waiting at valet, or they were waiting to get into the club. You know, the evidence will come out in a court of law as to what Mr. Ramirez was thinking, his motivation for doing this. The evidence also will come out in a court of law as to the altercations that preceded Mr. Ramirez driving his car that injured these 37 individuals. You know, the fact that we only have individuals that suffer great bodily injury and nothing more, besides being a really miracle, was in large part to the heroic and incredibly speedy actions of over 100 first responders that responded at 2 a.m. in the morning to this scene. They come from the fire department, and thank you, Interim Chief Villanueva, and every member of your fire department's emergency services that responded and tended to these victims so quickly. They came from the police department as well. And again, Chief McDonnell, thank you for everyone in your police department that responded that actually made this incident, which could have been catastrophic, an incident that's certainly tragic, but didn't result in any loss of life. Even thank you to the bystanders that assisted the fire department and the police department in helping these victims out, at least one of which was actually trapped under the car. So we will be dealing with this situation as we should. Mr. Ramirez will face the full accountability for his actions when we get him into court, and we look forward to that opportunity, to presenting that evidence to, if it's a jury, and convicting him of each and every one of these accounts. Our thoughts go out to not only the victims, but to their families and friends as well, because this tragic event in their lives will reverberate forever in their lives. It reverberates in our community. But we are here to tell you that Mr. Ramirez will face justice, that the police and fire, when called upon, have reacted and will continue to act swiftly in all of these type of cases. And that when we get to the point at which Mr. Ramirez faces a judge, as we anticipate, after being convicted of each and every one of these counts, at that point, we will tell the judge to put him away for the rest of his life. I'd now like to turn over to Chief McDonnell.
Thank you very much, D.A. Hochman. Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to begin by recognizing the exceptional professionalism and courage demonstrated by our Rampart Area Patrol officers, detectives, and air support personnel who responded to what quickly became an unpredictable mass casualty incident involving dozens of innocent victims. I also want to extend our deep appreciation to the Los Angeles Fire Department, who arrived on scene and worked quickly to triage, treat, and transport victims under very chaotic and emotionally charged conditions. Their skill and coordination certainly saved lives. And finally, I want to acknowledge the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. From the outset, our agencies have worked closely to ensure this case is pursued with urgency and seriousness. Today's criminal filings reflects that partnership. This was an unprovoked act of violence that injured 36 people, some critically, and turned a popular nightlife district into a scene of trauma and fear. It is truly a miracle that nobody was killed that night. The suspect, now identified as 29-year-old Fernando Ramirez, has an extensive history of violence and remains in custody, facing serious charges. As Ramirez's vehicle came to a stop, he was pulled from the car and shot in the back by an unknown individual. We understand the emotions involved, but when the threat had ended and the suspect was no longer actively harming others, the use of deadly force was both unlawful and dangerous to everybody present. Our detectives are working diligently to identify and apprehend the shooter, who still remains at large. We urge the public to view the suspect's photo on lapdonline.org, and please contact us with any information you may have. The individual we're searching for should be considered armed and dangerous. If you recognize him or know his whereabouts, do not approach him. Call 911 or Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS. We're asking the public to help bring this person to justice before another act of violence occurs. I want to commend the management and staff at the Vermont Hollywood nightclub. They cooperated fully with our investigators, provided key information quickly, and worked with our senior lead officers to ensure community safety in the aftermath. This incident is a powerful reminder that public safety is a shared responsibility between law enforcement, business, and community members. As Chief of Police, I will always support the right of Angelenos to gather, celebrate, and live without fear of violence. What occurred on Saturday morning was horrendous. The LAPD will continue to pursue justice for the victims and accountability for all individuals responsible, whether behind the wheel or firing a gun. My thoughts are with those recovering from their injuries and their families. We stand with you. It's now my honor to introduce Chief Ronnie Villanueva from the Los Angeles Fire Department.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, our hearts go out to everyone impacted by this tragic and senseless incident that occurred early morning hours of July 19th. The Los Angeles Fire Department responded rapidly to what was an incredibly chaotic and distressing scene. At approximately 2 a.m., LAFD began receiving multiple 911 calls, reporting that a vehicle had struck a large group of pedestrians near the intersection of Santa Monica Boulevard and Vermont Avenue, right outside a popular East Hollywood nightclub. The scene was extremely active, with dozens of people on the sidewalk, many visibly injured and in need of immediate help. We deployed a significant and immediate response. 124 dedicated LAFD personnel, along with LAPD, responded to provide urgent triage, treatment, and transportation for a high volume of patients. In total, we assessed more than 30 adults on scene. 23 individuals were transported to nearby hospitals. 7 others declined transport after evaluation. Our firefighters worked in close coordination with the Los Angeles Police Department, who helped secure the scene and assisted in initial patient care and public safety. That partnership was essential in ensuring a rapid and effective emergency response. One of those transported was the driver of the vehicle who sustained serious injuries. We are deferring all investigative and legal details to our partners at the LAPD and District Attorney's Office, who are handling the criminal aspects of this case. I want to take a moment to publicly commend our firefighters, paramedics for their swift, skillful, and compassionate response during this such a chaotic scene. We are grateful for the unwavering collaboration with our law enforcement partners and the leadership of the District Attorney's Office. The LAFD remains committed to standing with the victims, their families, and the entire East Hollywood community as we begin the long process of healing. Thank you.
So now we'll take questions. Yes.
Could you explain the reasoning for the attempted murder charges?
So the attempted murder charges are based on allegations that there was a premeditated, deliberate, and willful acts on behalf of Mr. Ramirez when he drove his car on a sidewalk through a sea of pedestrians. Each charge corresponds to a particular victim. So each charge, and there are 2 different types of charges that the law allows us to bring, both an attempted murder charge and assault with a deadly weapon, the deadly weapon being the car. So 37 counts of attempted murder, 37 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, one count each corresponding for each victim.
Since there's a
Yes, over here.
with his extensive criminal history in Orange County, and what are your thoughts on the fact that he was out?
Well, again, he's been charged as well being out on bail for the 2022 domestic violence case that he had in Orange County. As with respect to the details on how he's actually out on bail and ended up in Los Angeles, that evidence will actually be adduced at trial. And it's premature for me to comment on it right now. Yes.
You mentioned there was a premeditated aspect. I know you said you can't get into the whole motive, but was he targeting anyone in particular of these 37 victims? Did he just drive at random into the, like I know this area, there's a line, like you said, almost always on Vermont. Can you tell us anything about who in the crowd, if anyone, he was aiming?
That's an ongoing investigation. It'll also look at the incidents that preceded him driving the car. It'll then analyze and reconstruct the actual path that the car went through on that night. And that type of detailed analysis will be presented in a court of law.
And I imagine the same goes for, as you said, the reasoning for why he was ejected and what the date of that.
Correct. Yes.
Assuming given his past criminal record from this, Hernandez faced a third strike, or at least third strike allegations from this one?
We were actually looking into the details of any prior convictions that Mr. Ramirez has suffered. We don't have all those details at present. That is also an ongoing investigation. When and if we determine that there are any strike offenses that he has committed in the past, they will be alleged in the current complaint or an amended complaint.
Asking the judge, if he is convicted, you're looking for stacking the sentences on this one, consecutive sentences?
Again, what the final recommendation will be, whether it's life or multiple lives, certainly depends on what the final charges that are before a judge that he is convicted of look like.
Chief McDonnell, question, if you would, related to the search or ongoing search for the shooter. anything in the way of any information from the owners of the nightclub or anybody else, how's that going? You're trying to
Do you wanna
identify
talk about that,
yourself,
Ben?
either social media or other sources. Yeah, you wanna identify yourself?
Captain Ben Fernandez, BenFernandes. I'm the commanding officer of LAPD Rampart Division.
All right. Can you fill us in on where we're going on this and how we might be getting closer to finding out who this guy is?
So we have released a photo in our social media and through the media for our outstanding shooting suspect. At this time, we haven't received many clues on him or his whereabouts, so we're asking the public's help for that because, as stated before, he shot someone and he could be very well entitled and could shoot someone again. So we're asking for the public's help to find him.
Has security or the owners of the nightclub in any way been able to help you? Have you seen that guy before? Or giving you a clue pointing you in the direction where he might go or what he might be?
All part of the investigation. The nightclub has been very cooperative in our investigation, no limits, and we're trying to determine if there's any nexus to him in that area, and that's all part of our investigation.
Do you feel like you've gotten all the surveillance video in the area that might help you track him down?
Yes.
And either you or the district attorney, the events that led up to the suspect being apparently tossed out of the club, how did that play a role in all this, under your understanding right now?
There have been media accounts of it, but obviously that's not what we're relying on. The investigation's ongoing. They're going to interview all precipient witnesses, review all surveillance footage, and at that point, we'll be in a better position to tell you how it unfolded.
I know we keep dancing around the motive thing.
Toxicology report?
Hold on, I'll take a question over here and then over here.
Thank you, District Attorney Hochman. Is there any available information on a toxicology report? Were there drugs or alcohol involved?
We don't have that information at present.
Just given, again, I know you can't get into motive, but we've obviously seen these kind of things, these kind of vehicle attacks, plans, domestic terror. Can we at least delineate, you guys kind of believe this was an impulsive reaction to what happened that night, not something he planned before the night of?
Again, what the evidence will eventually show as to his motivation to get behind the wheel of a car, drive it onto the sidewalk, and plow through dozens of pedestrians, otherwise innocent pedestrians, that evidence will come out during the investigation and ultimately be presented to a court of law.
We have time for a couple more, or not.
I'll keep going. This might be for the fire chief, though. Sorry to bore you, DA, but can we just get a better chronology or narrative of when he crashes, where does the vehicle come to rest? How was he pulled out? Did it hit the side of the building? Did it hit the valet stand? Just can you kind of walk us through how the car comes?
I am actually unaware of that.
Does anybody know how the car came to a stop?
Again, Captain Ben Fernandez, LAPD Rampart. So the suspect's vehicle came down the sidewalk in a southbound direction from Santa Monica Boulevard on the east side of Vermont. It was a small, compact Nissan sedan. At some point, the sedan struck some sort of carts that were on the sidewalk, most likely vending carts, which ultimately led up underneath the vehicle, and then the vehicle ultimately stopped at a light standard, meaning a light pole in the area, which ultimately saved lives.
And as far as the people who pulled him, this is not trying to get into the shooting part, but he gets pulled out by some of his victims, by other passersby. How does he end up getting removed from the car?
I would say the crowd, everyone in the crowd was a victim, most likely, and that crowd turned on him and pulled him out.
Is he being cooperative so far during your investigation?
He's being a cooperative in a sense, but that's all I can really say about that.
All right, folks, we
I
have,
one more question, if you will. This relates to the charges and the condition of the defendant afterwards. I know you already said they haven't had apparently the tox screen or alcohol screen on it. But if he was either drunk or impaired by drugs or something else, could that affect how the prosecution would go forward or how any other charges might be enhanced or otherwise scaled back? Because if he wasn't the influence of drugs or alcohol, maybe he had passed out rather than consciously driven into the crowd. Do you know?
We don't know, and that's part of what we're looking to find out. That's again, having the incident through the evidence detailed moment by moment by moment, from the time he most likely entered that club to the time he got behind the wheel to the time he goes and commits these criminal acts. That is what is under intense investigation right now. When we have that information, we will be presenting it in a court of law.
You're expecting that talk screen hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours?
I don't know exactly the timing of it.
Okay, so we have representatives from LAPD, LA Fire, and the DA's office to give Spanish remarks, one-on-one. So any of that we can do, and also they are all available for some one-on-one remarks.
And thank you very much.